Yeah, if you've seen in the news media the representation and the portrayal of this disease that everybody's trying to label as Ebola.
Right. All I'm gonna say is firstly,
of course. Okay, but when I mean label, when I mean label, what I'm trying to say is that I feel, from my personal feel, is that they're trying to make it bigger than what it is. They're trying to create a fear factor. They're trying to create justification to do other things with that disease. One of the things that I feel more passionate about is news media have their own agenda, and they're owned by news proprietors. News International, Rupert Murdoch are obviously some of those people. Now, they're trying to instill a fear factor with a disease that has actually only caused 4,500 deaths so far. Obviously, that can multiply by hundreds of thousands within the next couple of months or whatnot, but I'm saying people don't need to start worrying and getting on a train anytime someone coughs and says, "You got Ebola, fam." That's not the case.
Or when was the last time you watched the news or saw anything about children being bombed in Palestine? Because that shit's not been on the news for a while, but Ebola, be afraid of that, care about that. When was the last time you saw anything about the 200 Nigerian girls that went missing? Don't worry about that, worry about Ebola, it's gonna kill you. That's all it is, it's just, they just switch your focus. It's like, shit, we can't solve this problem that everyone's worrying and protesting about, but so let's give them something else to worry about.
The problem is, like, I don't like how they did it, set it up and then let it spread in West Africa, and then when, oh shit, someone caught it in England or whatever in Spain. Now it's a fucking deal.
Yeah, but in this country, they love to just latch onto these type of things and over-drama. I know it sounds like a deep thing to say, but like, they love to just latch onto something and then make it into a humongous thing where it's like everybody in West London, South London, Birmingham's about to catch this thing, to slap something over your face or whatever. If you're going to talk about it in the right dimensions and that. The one thing that I will say is though, with the big, broad personality that I have and sense of humour, I didn't find one Ebola joke funny really. Because I just thought it was a bit lame and whack. Like, is it really?
But they've done that in the past though, haven't they? Swine flu. Mad cow disease. Like there's always been
in Jamaica there's one.
But the problem with Ebola is that when you see a lot of these jokes, the butt of the jokes are African people. It's not specific. That's why I've seen a lot of jokes where it's like really, it's basically just slagging off West African people. It's just an excuse to be like offensive to.
Like, do you know what? Let me say something here. Just some facts for people. Yeah. AIDS, Ebola, whatever you want to call this stuff that kills people. You know what kills Africans? Today, malaria, and they don't put the right amount of money in Africa for that. They got millions pumping for AIDS. These things ain't killing people. AIDS ain't killing nobody like that in Africa, because they can't even diagnose it properly. You know what I'm saying? AIDS is a acquired immune deficiency syndrome. Ebola is something that is killing people, but it's not spreading quick like that.
Only 4,500 so far.
No, but that's still like, that still sounds like,
and what I'm saying is Ebola, actual causes of death and in having bodily contact, 4,500.
Exactly. Got no immune system.
That's what I'm saying. That's my point, though.
They got AIDS by
so
definition.
Minute. Not by.
I think that it was a lot of it is speculation. One of the Donnies mentioned something about malaria, which is the biggest killer in Africa. So yeah, I do agree with him on that. Talk about that shit. But all of this conspiracy about, you know, they're trying to wipe this out to do this and do that, and I don't deal with speculation like that. Fuck that shit. I'm surprised that people are surprised at this, to be fair. Like, it is what it is, isn't it?
Me.
Well, you know, some people are going to die about it, but as I said, it's just one of those things, isn't it? Like, the news will latch onto it, dramatize it, make it even bigger than what it is.
The attitude of people in this country is crazy. Like, I saw something about this woman took her child out of school because there was a new African kid that started at school. It's like, statistically speaking, your child is more likely to get touched up by the parents of another kid in your class than he is getting Ebola from an African kid in the class. But I don't see you fucking trying to pull out people from your school because they like, do you know what I mean? It's just silly, man.
So anyway, to sum it up,
Man said to sum it up.
You know, what is your take on this whole thing?
Fam, I think that it's a fucking multi-million-pound organisation that are allowing them to use that as a justification to go into Sierra Leone, to go and justify reasons for the Red Cross actually existing, because if all of illnesses were wiped out, what are they going to do?
Pharmaceutical companies are, you know, multi-million-dollar or pounds companies. Like, they have agendas, of course they do. I don't think that's a secret. So if they feel as though they can put a massive media hype over something and essentially make a lot of money from treating that disease by scaring everybody into believing that they need vaccinations or whatever, then it makes sense that they're going to do that. It's financially profitable for the major companies. Yeah, but
how are they going to make money?
How
are they going to do anything?
The agendas of the elite, the agendas of the elite will never be known. All you have to know is the principle. The principle is Ebola ain't killing Africa. Malaria is. So if that's the case, we're being told falsehoods. When someone says Ebola or someone says AIDS.
But the only reason people are care in this country is not because people are dying in Africa, because they're scared they're going to get it. That's it. Yeah.
Well, you know.
But what you gotta understand is that's not a conspiracy. The whole issue with pharmaceutical companies, that's nothing hidden. Pharmaceutical companies are there to treat illness, not to cure it. That's why they're such a...
It's just another business. Yeah. And they don't treat illnesses. What they do is they give you some medicine that gives you other symptoms other than what it's supposed to cure.
You need more medicine to counteract that.
Nigeria found a cure.
Nigeria found a cure, and it has a lot to do with hydration. Because while your body's fighting the virus, you lose all your body.
No, I heard that it was actually created by someone from the Red Cross.
Yeah, but when you hear that, what is
I
that?
heard, obviously.
I don't like to do that.
Whenever people say, I heard this, or I heard this, I'm always like, but where did you hear it? Like,
we can get spooky.
If you logically think about it, it was actually a case from a person who lives in West Africa and saying 6 months ago.
Okay, but you know Ebola is a lot older than 6
of course,
months.
but what they're trying to say
that could be real. What you're saying could be real. But the thing is, we need principles. When we get principles, then that comes off like a shoe off it. The principle is, there's probably a big company who said, look, Ebola's out there. If we get the patent for the, what do they call it, the medicine, or the vaccination now, we can make big money. The only way we're going to do that is if we pump it in the media. Do you know what I'm saying? So then when it comes to vaccination time, we can put the price really high for the hospitals. Ebola, it deserves to be spoke about, but not like other things like wars that's happening, Israel and Palestine. Talk about those things. Talk about what's happening in Africa. The Chinese going in, buying up all the land, trying to dig up, get gold, get diamonds, Europe doing it. Like, Africa's being raped right about now. For you to just speak about one disease, Africa's got loads of diseases in it, not by choice as well. By the fact that they don't have the same privileges they used to. They owe a lot of money to the UK, billions of debts to the UK, do you understand what I mean? And even if they squash those billions of debts, like the effects that debt has had on that country.
The disease that already exists in Africa, Ebola, for years.
It's still the music industry.
And it's a virus, well not a disease, it's a virus that was still laying dormant. But they're saying that now it's airborne. You can catch it airborne. It used to be through.
It's airborne now.
Yeah. So it's like some coughing shit and touching shit. But
I'm not really into the conspiracy stuff.
I don't believe a disease would mutate. A virus is not going to mutate.
No, but a virus mutates. A virus mutates.
Viruses mutate.
Yeah, but from a point where it changes in how you contract it.
Yeah.
Really?
But the thing is, it's already existed. It's always existed for a very long time. But the thing is, it's now for some reason it's being published.
Body fluid,
body
and
fluid.
contact.
Usually blood. The reason why you think that, the reason why you think that is because of AIDS. But AIDS you can't catch it.
That's when the patent clears. When the patent clears, 2015, that's when they drop it. They just want us all to line up like their shoes. Like they're like, you need them. The thing with Ebola is like, there's a lot of diseases in Africa, a lot of people dying in Africa, but for some reason there's been a microscope or a magnifying glass that's been put down on this, and obviously there's a vaccination coming out, so it makes sense that you do a lot of good marketing for something like that. At the same time, people are dying, and I don't think if people do want to start caring about illnesses, they should care about all illnesses, malaria, AIDS, and just like anything that's killing people, really.
Bloodstream for antibodies. They'll look for the virus. They'll be like, common virus is here, common flu virus is in your bloodstream. These things, viruses that are touch, usually they can mutate to being airborne, because you just think about it. If I touch you and you can get it, there's a small point here that,
So does no one care because it's not in this country? We're in the UK.
I don't care about Ebola because it's not that important. Ebola's not that important.
So if you were to step on a plane today and fly out, would you not?
I went to Morocco earlier this year, but I was wicked.
Wicked.
Listen,
I never like the fact that people are dying of
I'll go
certain things,
Nigeria.
but the reality is that these things do happen, and what he did say is true. It's like, if you're going to make it seem like there is the biggest killer out there, the reality is you can shed some light on that. That's not to say to be ignorant about this thing over here, but then make sure you shine a light on what's going on over here too, you know?
The debates are filmed before a live audience at Bloomsbury Bowling Lanes on Thursdays at 9 p.m. If you are interested in being in the audience, please email info@jumpoff.tv.